Hi everyone, it's Jen from Tarot Spirit. I apologize again this week for the late reading. Um, I was in San Diego for the last several days and it was absolutely spectacular. It was 70 and sunny, low humidity every day. Um, I draw cards a lot. I sort of just will draw cards. I don't necessarily sit down and do a huge reading for myself. It's kind of weird. I just kind of draw cards, look at them. I just have a sort of an instinctive sense of what they mean. And I got the sun card every single day. So it was made a lot of sense. So I'm going to, and then I came back to negative temperatures and snow and all that good stuff. That's okay. So I'm going to use the Silver Witchcraft Tarot again by Barbara Moore. I'm just going to move that because it's in the way. I need to get a better camera here. Because I'm still getting to know these cards. Okay, so let's see what the first card is. So the first card is the Eight of Swords. So I've always, the Swords cards can tend to, elicit a negative feeling in the tarot. But I'm really, have been learning to embrace them and try to really understand them more lately. And, this card is, it's negative in the sense that, you're struggling. But, okay, that's not working. I don't know. I'm all out of sorts today. It's negative in the sense that you're struggling. You are unable. I think really, if I were to give this card a keyword, it would be denial. We're just not willing to see or admit or accept something going on, and it's making us sort of mental. And we're dancing around it and trying to come up with all these other reasons and all these other things instead of facing what we really need to face. Like, for example, I could see this card, getting this card and then showing the Tower. And that would mean if you don't face it, something is going to happen. Like, there's only so long you cannot face it until something's going to happen. So I like this card in the sense that you really are in control, and you are able, like this lady, she can cut herself free from this tree if she wants to. So it's really, you are in control. And so that's very powerful once you realize you have the ability to solve this situation. You're not, at the mercy of someone else. So it's a little bit like the devil in that way. Um, so, so really ponder ponder what you're struggling with, and really try to channel your inner Queen of Swords and try to figure out, okay, if this was my friend, and it's hard, it's really hard to do this. It's so hard to be objective with yourselves. But if this was my friend, what would I tell them to do? Pretend I don't have the emotional attachments and the emotional history and all the other, PTSD. I think everyone has a lot of PTSD we don't realize on a smaller level from just our experiences over the years. If I didn't have all these other things I'm writing into the story that don't necessarily have to be there, what would I say? What advice would I give someone else? And try to get more perspective and think, what's the worst that could happen? What's the best thing that could happen? Could I possibly be in denial about this situation I feel so strongly about? And just sort of reflect on that. If you journal. If you like to go for walks, go for walks. Um, ask friends if you have some close friends that can give you good input and be honest with you. And remember, you ask for the honesty and not project that maybe they tell you something you don't want to hear. So let's move on. Oh, look at this. So this is a lovely card. See if I can get this up here. The Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is, I really don't know what all these sort of strings are. I really need to read the book. I haven't read the book for this yet. Look, there's even one to the kitty. The Ten of Pentacles is about an incredibly strong, complete foundation. Pentacles do tend to point to, on a mundane level, money, your home, your family. I always like to interpret this card as, and this, my dad would be sort of the King of Pentacles. He's created the Ten of Pentacles. And my mom have created just an unconditional acceptance for me and my brothers. They created a strong foundation, like you can always go home. I know he's always been responsible about setting aside money and will leave, some inheritance just to, he's done, he has wills, he's communicated how he and my mom want things when they're passed away. Even these things that aren't so comfortable, I get to be the one that pulls the plug, lucky me. But, these are really important conversations to have that are really supporting your loved ones, not leaving them in a bad situation, allowing them to grow and foster and support them in whatever is important to them, and not projecting your wishes and hopes, and allowing, they really allow us to be who we are. And I can, debate and argue with my parents. I can even get mad with my parents. Not that it happens that often. And it's never a question of, am I not welcome or are they not welcome? It's just, okay, we disagree. We'll get over it. And that's kind of how things go. So that's sort of what this card encompasses. So I'm not sure. I want to see the next card before I look at them all together. The Wheel. Yeah, so I think I see what's going on here. So the Wheel of Fortune kind of points to what I was just saying. There are going to be ups and downs and highs and lows, arguments and great times. And you sort of need to make sure you have a really, if you have this really strong foundation, these ups and downs aren't going to be as extreme, because you're not going to totally worry if you have a fight with someone that, oh my God, they're going to dump me, or that's it. And it may be able to let go of, be more realistic about situations, and not have this mind game and this denial that, because you're so worried about if you accept something or are honest about something, that you're not going to be accepted. So think of, if you're really struggling, and sometimes when you deal with something in denial, it creates, a breakdown. It's a real painful thing. However, think of it more like a breakthrough, and you were never going to move ahead until you dealt with it, until you accepted it, until you went there. So it's kind of like getting it over. You can deal with it. You're going to have to deal with it at some point. And it's, with the Ten of Pentacles, there's a really strong support network. Maybe that's what these strings mean, or I'm not even sure what they are. They're spider webs. I have no idea. In this card points to that everyone is connected and you have a strong support system. So you don't need to be tied to that tree there. You can be tied to your people around you, and that it's going to be okay. I think you have a lot of support. And I have one book, I can't remember what it is, that says, if we can live here in the middle of the wheel and not go around the top, where sometimes we're really high and sometimes we're getting crushed by the wheel, that uh, that we do better, just sort of being much more, I think, accepting instead of worried, so woohoo about the highs and so deep down in the, you know, depths of despair about the lows, that we can move through life with acceptance and more peace. See, all three of these ladies are kind of have their hands around the center of the wheel. That's what we want to strive for. So I hope this was helpful. I really appreciate you watching. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear about them. And next week, I will try very hard to get this out in a more timely fashion. Thanks for watching. Bye.